So my name is Mina S. Aidun. I always keep the S in because of my maiden name. So I am a realtor serving Northern Virginia and Maryland. I call myself the Accidental Realtor. I used to be a teacher, then stayed home with 4 kids. And then when it came time to sell and purchase a new home in 2017, I realized, I have a knack for this. And that's when I got into it.
That's awesome. So what was it that first sparked your interest in real estate and inspired you to leave teaching and entrepreneurship behind?
So I feel like I grew up in the real estate world. My dad was a business broker in Dallas, Texas. He owned multiple properties. I always remember being a little girl and going with him to all these houses and helping him when the renters moved in and out. So I feel like it's in my blood.
For sure.
Teaching, I had actually left when I had kids. So when my my youngest, I should say, got to the age where he was self-sufficient, I said, hey, I guess real estate's calling me. And that's when I went and got licensed, and I actually joined a team, was on a team for a bit, and then started my solo adventure in 2023.
Okay, what's that been like, the transition from going to a team to being solo and you calling the shots and, it's commission-based, all of that?
Fabulous.
Wow.
It's been fabulous. I'm very thankful for the amazing people I get to help, for their referrals, and my business is very much centered around referrals. So that means the world to me when they write a Google review and say how I helped them, how I was able to listen to them and find what they needed, because that's what I felt lacked when I was buying my home.
Oh.
So I just love fulfilling someone's dream of finding their dream home.
Yeah, and the fact that you can be that person that they had a great experience with, and they're just like, you know what, I'm going to keep recommending this person because that experience is great and people need to know about this. But the fact that you are able to meet those goals for yourself and be like, you know what, I want to create this experience. And when they come to me, I want to make sure that it's this amazing or this great or quality, and that you're doing that. So I think that's great.
I appreciate it. And that is my hope with every person I get to help.
Yeah, I love that. And then let's see, your background spans in education, running a bakery, and now real estate. How have these varied experiences shaped the way you connect with and coach clients?
So knowing how to start a business, how to get people to come to you, and that has been fabulous because I feel like I am a good communicator. I can listen to them, see what they're looking for, and then put that into action. And I'm very organized. I think any mother of 4 has to be organized, and that helps me in my day-to-day. And I often get clients who write reviews and say, we feel as if we were her only client. Because wow. I love being able to give each person the attention they deserve.
Mm-hmm. How do you keep everything balance? Because maybe some people find that challenging, but maybe this is so much your passion that it's not even a challenge and it's just easy for you. But if you could give them a tip to maybe they're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I know I put my everything into this person, but let me just get through this one. How do you keep that top quality with each person?
So never do I think that person is exhausting. So that would be my first tip.
Throw that out the door.
Throw that out the door, because each human being deserves the respect and attention from you. That's how I feel. And yes, some are more challenging, but maybe their life is challenging right now. So I try to put that on the wayside. And then in terms of how I am organized, that phone, my calendar, everything is in there. I know exactly where I need to be, what I need to do. And I'm very meticulous about entering it in there. Mm-hmm. And then time management. My mornings are spent, sometimes my kids come in and they're like, you're always on your phone. You're always on your laptop.
Excuse me.
Exactly. But I'm going through MLS. I am remembering each client's needs, and I'm scouring MLS looking for each client first thing in the morning. I am sending them separate emails about it. Here are some properties that meet your needs. And they're like, how'd you find that so fast? I'm like, because I am on there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But what a beautiful mindset. You seem very positive and A challenge? Don't worry, we'll get through this, or I got this. Like, don't you worry. I want to ask you, do you have an assistant or ever considered having an assistant just to take off a little bit, or are you just like, no, I can do this still?
Right now, I can do it. I think that I am too much of a control freak to have an assistant.
I like the self-awareness. I appreciate that.
You know, I think at the age of 53, I know myself.
You look great.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I know myself, and I know that to be the best that I can be for my clients right now, I need to focus myself. I can't delegate what the tasks are at this moment. Now, in terms of growing the business, I think I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
I think that handling 5 clients at a time on both the buyer side and list side is enough for me. So I'm not looking at having 10, 12 clients where I can't juggle. I still want to be able to give them that attention that they deserve.
I love it. And what are some current challenges right now that you're seeing in the real estate industry? I know the rates were low, and then we had that change. What was it, August 14th or 17th? What else?
July, yeah.
July, sorry. Thank you. See,
course.
she's a realtor. She knows. What are some common challenges right now that are happening, and some new ones that are popping up or that you foresee that you would like to share?
Sure. So this is a very much a yo-yo market. Every week is different. Traditionally, in our area, June, July until mid-August are not good months for listing a home. It's great for buyers. Usually, inventory is still lower, but they have the ability to keep some contingencies in the home inspection, financing, appraisal. This June, we are seeing more listings. Last article I read yesterday or a couple days ago said we have about 30% more listings on the market than we have had. So we have more sellers than buyers. Does that mean we're shifting into a buyer's market?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe. I wouldn't panic right now. I think right now we're seeing more of a stabilized market.
Okay.
Some areas are still seeing multiple offers. I had a client who was interested in placing an offer on a property in Mantua in Fairfax this past Saturday, and the house already had 3 offers on it. So he was like, I'm not getting into that. So we are seeing buyers who are weary of multiple offer situations. They don't want to play that game.
How come?
Because they have seen what's happened in the last few years where people have done this multiple offer scenario and the prices have just gone up crazy. Some people don't want to play it. They don't want to do that. And to each his own, right?
Yeah.
We're here to find the best way to make that buyer happy. So for him, he's going to keep looking. Off-market properties, right now we're seeing a lot of that. We are seeing agents who post a property for a seller on different channels prior to it coming on MLS in order to see if they can sell it off market. Now, in terms of representing a seller, that's not the best thing for the seller, because when you put it on the open market, then you have many eyes on that property, and the price will go up hopefully with multiple offers.
Yeah.
So there's a catch-22 on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned you read an article. I'm curious what you're using to stay up to date on the latest things. Do you have maybe like a group chat with other real estate agents? You guys like, hey guys, check this out? Or is it more like on your own? Or are you on your MLS, like just looking?
So all of that.
Nice.
All of that. I stay connected with groups within Long and Foster. I stay connected within groups outside where agents that I have worked with in the past, as well as I love to read articles through NVAR.
Okay.
National Virginia Association of Realtors. I think that that is the most accurate and up-to-date by the chief economist and things like that.
Yeah.
So just multiple sources. And my lenders. I think that the lenders are fabulous sources of information because we get so many people who come to us and are like, you know, the market is tanking and interest rates are going to go high or up or down. And you check in with your lender and they're on top of it. And
Yeah.
then they give you the feedback to then share with your clients.
Absolutely. I love that. And now, as far as marketing goes for you and your business, what do you like to do to get the word out there? I know it's a lot of word of mouth, but are you playing the online game where it's like, let me do this dance and show this house? Or are you getting reviews? Are you going to networking events with people? Are you collaborating? What's working or what's not working for you?
Absolutely. So I do use social media. I wouldn't say I'm the best at it. I do not like to be in front of camera. So I do.
Wow. Well, thank you for coming today. Oh my gosh.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But I do a lot of posting on social media and things like that. Just trying to promote properties or properties that I am looking to find for my buyers. I'll like put stuff out there trying to find those. Basically that. That's it. I mean, I think the best form of advertising is those Google reviews.
Yes.
And what that client has to say about me.
Yeah, and that experience that you gave, which is incredible. The fact that you're getting them and people know, I think like that's like a currency nowadays for your business. Like it means so much. And
Correct.
being able to read that and see like honest reviews from people is priceless.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Exactly what it is. And that's what I tell my clients. They're always like, oh my gosh, what can we do for you? I'm like, that's it. That means the world. Your words mean the world.
I love that. Great. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks.
And then let's see, you've helped dozens of families since 2019. Wait, I already asked you something similar like that. What's been most satisfying about working with clients who are relocating from out of state or around Northern Virginia for you?
Absolutely. So I'm a transplant. I came from California in 1994.
Okay.
So I love this area. I would not consider moving anywhere else. So I love when people come from out of state and I get to show them the different areas. And I, ask them in the beginning, I'm like, do you just want me to listen to what you've asked and show you properties just in this one area? Or are you open to learning about all the other areas? And they're like, you'll actually take the time to do that? I'm like, of course.
Well, yes.
You are spending the most amount of money you are going to be spending maybe in your life. I want you to be happy. So I have no problems taking them from Herndon to Arlington to, Oakton, showing them the different areas, neighborhoods, walking. We've walked paths in Franklin Farm. We've done it all.
How beautiful. You're just like, road trip. Let's go, girls.
Absolutely. Let's go learn. I have snacks for their kids if they need it.
Look at that. You're just prepared. Now, I want to ask you, what's been a memorable situation or moment where you've been able to help a client and it's like touched your heart? And you're like, dang, I'm so happy that I was able to do that. And if you don't want to say names, you totally don't have to. But I would love to hear any stories that made you say like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So one that stands out to me was one of the first buyers I ever helped. And he had come to us, didn't have a lot of money to spend on a property. So he was discouraged, but I found him a short sale. And I remember I was told by other agents, oh my gosh, don't waste your time on a short sale. This is going to be a headache, et cetera, et cetera. We got him that short sale. In 2 years, he was able to sell that house for, I want to say like at least $200K profit.
Okay.
Then leverage that to buy himself a single family home.
Look at that.
So that to me was a fabulous moment.
Absolutely. No. And then when everyone's like, don't do it, don't do it. And then when you're like, well, I'm going to. And then it turns out great. It's like, see, this is why I take my own advice and not yours. Okay, thanks. I love that. That's a great moment. And then let's see. What kinds of questions do you find unlock the most insightful conversations during a first consultation with your clients?
Sure. So just getting to know them, asking about them, their lives, and not starting out about real estate, connecting with them on a personal note. I think that that's always how I start my conversations.
I love it. And what kind of hobbies do you do outside of real estate? How do you like to unwind? What does that look like for you?
So I like to cook.
Okay.
I still like to bake. Don't get to do it as much anymore. Pickleball, walking, socializing with friends, hanging out with my kids. up to now, I'll be honest with you, didn't have much time for that because every free moment was spent at my son's baseball games.
I
and
love
now
that.
he graduated high school, so baseball is over.
Okay.
So
what's next for him?
he is off to JMU.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure he's
Thank you.
excited about that.
He's at Beach Week right now, so let's make sure he gets home alive. Then
Yes, right. And then we'll go from there. I love it. And where do you hope to see yourself in the next 5 years as a person and with your business?
Absolutely. As a person, I think that this next stage of life where I have no more kids in high school, I have no more kids in the proverbial nest, as it will, just a little more about my husband and me. I think that seeing myself grow as just a human being and not as a mother, I think that transition is going to be interesting because it's been part of my identity for so very long. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to be a mother anymore, but just that day-to-day of it. So my children span in age from 17 to 27. So 4 kids. You know, I've been a mom for a very
Superwoman,
long
it sounds
time.
like. Yeah.
You're too kind.
Very cool. So with all this information that you've given us and seeing how the industry and the market is right now, for somebody who is new and is thinking about getting into real estate right now, what advice would you want to tell them? Maybe it's a piece of advice that you wish you had known back then, or maybe it's something new, or maybe it's like, wait, not yet, give it a little bit more time. What advice would you give to somebody new?
I think that what I would caution everyone, I'll start that way, would be that don't think that real estate is a part-time job. That's the biggest thing that I would say. A lot of people come into this industry thinking, oh, you know, all these people sell these houses, make money. It seems very easy. You just go open a lockbox, show a house. That's not the extent of it. There is so much to this profession. So that misnomer, I think, needs to be combated, and I think that people need to realize this is a full-time job. If you want to be successful, you need to dedicate your weekends, your evenings to making yourself successful. How would I begin? I think just as I did. I think rentals. You have to be okay with $200-300 at first to help someone find a rental. That person then trusts you and becomes your client for life.
Yeah.
When they are ready, they buy. So that's my advice.
That is a great piece of advice, I think, because a lot of people unfortunately do think like, I'll just do it on the side. And my uncle, he's going to sell a house. I'm going to do it real quick just for that, right? But then you're like, wait, why am I not getting anybody else? Like, and it's kind of just like, well, you helped your uncle. Like, do you really know versus this person who's done like a couple more? Even though I know you, I appreciate you, right?
Right.
But you got to really like get dedicated and not just think of it as a side hustle. I love that mindset. And I think that's a great piece of advice. Thank you.
Of course.
And then let's see, what's a lesson you've learned through doing this work that surprised you, perhaps coming from your time as a teacher or entrepreneur?
I think the biggest thing that has surprised me is the number of hours that you really do put into each transaction. I honestly did not think that this was going to be a job where your heart and soul is put into it 7 days a week. I'd say every waking moment. You feel for that buyer who loses out on a contract. You feel for that seller. The market has shifted and their house isn't selling in 3 days like everyone else's house sold 2 months ago in 3 days, right? So there's a lot of emotions with this job that I did not anticipate.
Okay. And in your own opinion, what are the 3 characteristics that you think a great real estate agent should have?
Compassion, understanding, and a great negotiator. Is that a trait? I don't know.
We'll put it on the list. I think that should be on the list.
You must have the skills to negotiate.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very important. All right. Is there anything I have not touched on that perhaps you would like to share about yourself, your business, your career, more tips maybe, or maybe other endeavors that you are thinking about doing? You have the floor.
I think we touched about almost everything. The only thing I didn't say is if you're looking to buy or sell, Message me now.
That's right. People can find you on Instagram. Probably everything's on your website. What's your website?
Absolutely. MessageMina.com.
Beautiful. I love that. And then my last question is, do you have a quote, saying, or a mantra that has inspired you, or maybe somebody in your family told you something that resonated, or a client? Would you like to share that with us?
I don't think I do.
No?
I don't think I do, but I will tell you how I live my life.
Tell us.
Good words, good thoughts, and good deeds.
I like that. I feel like we need to add and good food just to end it. Because food is great. Or good bakes.
Or good bakes.
Yeah. Well, Mina, thank you so much for being here and sharing so much of your experience, wisdom, and telling us a little bit about your journey. I really appreciate you being here.
Of course, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.